Hello, my dear Alim. How are you doing? Well, I have been wondering what is it what I would like to share with you and might be of interest to your audience. And actually, it's amazing when we give us the space and the time to reflect on our lives, on all the things we've been through. You have the feeling that you're telling somebody else's movie because it lies already in the past. You feel differently as you went through that process, and I guess that makes things easier. Well, my life I've been through many big changes throughout my life. And although I am a person that I believe likes change and likes to be aware of things moving on and changing, the truth is that sometimes life hits you far too hard. And we know that either you have experienced how it feels to be at the bottom, down that hole where there's no so much light you could really perceive, or you would not really value how beautiful this life is, how beautiful it is to see the light, to be aware that you are healthy, that you can move, you can speak, you can see, you can smell and taste, and that your heart is beating every single moment. Unfortunately, we do have to go through those phases sometimes. And I have learned myself to embrace every crisis with as much as love as I can and gratitude. That has helped me from going crazy, from losing hope, and from getting into this self-pitying attitude. I have selected the biggest decision I had some years ago, coming from having the perfect life, your kids, your husband, your professional career, your financial independence, your friends, everything seemed to be so perfect. And yet, I was in sadness. There was something in me that was not happy. A part of me crying and longing for something that I could not find out what it was. And I thought I could cope with all that. I thought, I have built up this life. It cannot be, rationally cannot be, that this does not make me happy. And not feeling fulfilled, feeling that certain sadness, as I say, carrying it in me, deep in me, was hunting me day by day. And as years would pass by, and I would say that the starting point of that process was probably 2 to 3 years before I really was able to take a decision. It was really hard for me, because once I saw the light, meaning I realized, what was it? It was only the beginning. I thought the hard part was already over. When you know what you want, then you just stand up, get up, and go for it. But that's not so easy. It's not easy when you already have kids and you're longing to be completely free. When you feel like a wild bird and you have those family commitments, it's not easy to leave a job that makes you completely independent and to land in a place where you just don't know what you're going to earn next month. I knew that I would have to leave the country I've been living for decades. I knew I would have to get separated, to get divorced from the man I was sharing my life. I knew I had to create a new world somewhere, and starting from the scratch, and having absolutely no roots. I had such a fear of being alone, of making mistakes, of not being a good mother, of being irresponsible, of being labeled as crazy woman, or I was fearing that I would lose my friends. Everything was in crisis, and I mean crisis in the Greek sense. Not for a bad reason, it was for a good reason, it was for my life, but it was so painful, and I was stuck in fear. And I said to myself, and I told to myself every single day, no, that's not. Look, let's see things. You make the list of the positive things, you make the list of the negative things, and there were lots of, bigger list of positive things just to remain where I was. But those little points, these last points, I would always write on the list, I don't have this, I'm missing that, were the essential for me in my life. And I want to be at the place I know I belong to, with the person I know I love deep in my heart, and I'm being loved, and doing the things for the people I want to serve, no matter how much money I would get from that. And I thought I would cope with that process. I would just hid it. I would just hide it and hid it away apart from me, look at the advantages and leave aside all these advantages. And what happened was that this sadness and this denial grew in myself, deep in me, and my body started reacting to that. And I once went to the doctor, and I had to go through a revision, control, healthy check. And the results were not as I was expecting. Actually, the doctor said, look, this is not looking good, and we have to do something. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that my life might go through a way that I was not even counting with it ever be possible. You think you are eternal. You think you have all the choices. You have all the days, all the energy. You are like a god, like a goddess. You have everything. You could have everything. No. My body was reacting against me for not allowing myself to live the life I know I need to live, and I want to live. And that was the day where I decided I have absolutely no clue how I am going to do that. But I know I have to. I really have to. And the next thing I did was to write my resignation letter, I started to ask myself, what that love relationship I was in was doing with myself? How could it be, or was it possible that I was loving somebody that would not allow myself to be the one I am? And I started reflecting on that. I started to create a plan of the things that really mattered to me, that were I'm passionate about, and started to be creative, allowing myself to imagine living in another way. And I took one decision after the other. I felt loneliness. I felt being treated aside and being judged by the people that would not understand why I was doing all this. I was leaving everything behind and cutting with acquaintances, even friends, and leaving the job and starting anew, and separating from that man that had been accompanying me throughout the years. The only thing I kept was my children. Forever, I loved them above all. But the thing is that I couldn't be 100% for them, meaning timely wise, because I needed to start building my life. And this is how I started up, how I started an internal process of learning who I am and respecting that being, even though that meant the way I had been living before was okay, but was not serving my essence, my nature, and the purpose I know now I have here on this planet. Yeah, you feel deep in yourself what is fear. You feel what is loneliness. You feel what is the uncertainty of not really knowing what is it gonna be in 5 months. Like not knowing, would you ever meet somebody that will make you feel the way you experienced before? Would you ever have roots again? Would you ever have a home? I lost that place I used to call home. And despite all those lonely moments, despite all the tears I had to share with myself, I discovered that the power that made me trust life was gratitude. I was thankful that I was alive. I was thankful that I was taking care of my body, of my emotions and my feelings. And I was honest to my thoughts, and my actions would then start reflecting that. And being grateful for opening the eyes every day, having recovered my health and myself, was the biggest prize and the biggest fulfillment I could have ever imagined. So when I see people around me looking for the way out, looking for a change that will improve their lives, and I see them stuck in that process of not really knowing, not really having the control. We want to have the control about life and what's going to happen. I really can't relate to that. And I would say, do not wait until life gives you the last reason why you should have started before. Because you would run into a huge pressure, which would only add to the situation you already carry with you. Be brave. Your life deserves that. Your lifetime deserves that. We are here to be fine, to be healthy, to be happy, and to be grateful for every single moment. If you need help, look for help. If you need somebody to talk to, look for that person. Choose that person. If you need to change whatever it is in your life, do that. You don't need to do that alone, but do that. Find the resources, the time, and the people you need.